All right, I am back.
You're back?
I got my
Just 1 second.
hydration
I'm also
thing.
back.
I don't think if you can see it.
I can see it. I also got my hydration thing.
Oh,
but
wow.
This is not wine. This is water.
Water, of course, sure.
Sustainable practice. We use water in our wine bottles.
Yes, of course. Sure, buddy. Whatever you say.
Of course. Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Damn. All right. I've put in the mic.
Alright.
All right.
So-
All good to go.
So, without being shy, I know it's like a bit uncomfortable. Could you tell me like how many shows on an average, since you guys have recently been on a tour, how many shows on an average do you guys do a month, and what is the kind of money that you are able to make, like just
Alright.
profits after paying for travel, stay, paying for the organizer.
Bold of you to
निकाल के, like,
bold of you to assume that we earn profit. Like that is pretty crazy.
क्या है?
Yep, that is insane.
Okay.
Like profit is a very far away. Okay, so I'll tell you. Like let's say the last tour.
Profit, मतलब the only reason I'm assuming that there's a profit is because you told me that हम लोग वहाँ से पैसा निकाल के बैंड में ही डाल रहे हैं वापस.
Yes. So I'll tell you.
Of course, you're investing. Yeah.
Okay, so last tour we've been very lucky. Alright, so we got the choice from the venue that okay, you guys either we give you a landed deal, we give you let's say 1 lakh rupee landed, no travel, no stay, no nothing. You come here, play
Okay.
2 shows for that amount and go. Or we give you travel and stay and tickets.
Shows is 2 nights.
Yeah, 2 nights back to back. And this is for a tribute night. So what you guys can have is we give you like travel and stay and you keep the tickets. Baki all the sales are ours. And we were like, when I got to know it, I was like, choose the latter immediately. Let the owners, let the burden of promotion be on our shoulders, and I think we have made enough buzz with our tribute act that people would want to buy the tickets because the word gets over there. Before these shows, we had 3 original shows, and now that venue does the shows every day, so they can't pay the artist. Doesn't matter if you're Lucky Ali or whoever you are, they are not going to be able to pay you 4,000 per member per night, more than that. So unfortunately for us, we are a trio, so we get 12,000 rupees for 3, that is 12, 24, 36. So we get 36,000. That does not cover the cost of coming to Delhi. That was our tour, right? So that to coming to that place, staying there in the most Lajpat Nagar, or no, I think that was Hauz Khas. Hauz Khas is like the KP of Delhi. So staying there and whatever, it's not gonna cover. That's the reality of a situation. So we were going out in loss. 2 days before the show, ticketed deal had none, like 5 tickets have gone. That's barely gonna cover our cab charges. So we were like, holy shit, we are screwed. We took the wrong deal. That guy was giving us a landed whatever, like kitna bhi tha, at least kuch to aata yaar. Like, we are screwed now. We have to pay our session, we have to pay our sound engineer, we have to pay for their flight over to here and flight and train and everything back. We are screwed.
Where was this? Yeah, where was this?
Delhi. So we are screwed.
Okay,
But
so 3 nights original.
3 nights original, 2 nights cover. Yes.
2 nights cover. Okay. And this is all in like 1 week, or is it
1 week, back to back, no gaps, no days gap. So that's another
So you
aspect
didn't
of.
have to travel back to Pune and back. So
No.
you
That's
were there.
so that's the tour thing. A lot of people are announcing 2 dates across 3 months in different cities, and they're calling it a tour. I don't agree with that thing. Tour is a tour. Like you go there, you give everything, and now you come back. Like that is a tour. And so we went hard. Like 6 shows we played, I think, or 5 shows back to in 6 days. So that was pretty hectic, and playing 2.5 2 hours every night. it taxes you mentally, physically, and vocally. The main thing, because in rock we are not singing in our comfort range. Like, you know, we are giving our all while also singing in higher and register and scream vocals and this and that. So it becomes a little that. But anyway, apart from that, that was the deal. We thought we were screwed, but we made a promotion. We made a reel sitting in our hotel room. We were like, okay, let's put 5,000 rupee ad on it in Delhi NCR and Gurgaon area. And we put that reel out. We put out saying that we are going to be playing 2 different set lists, 2 different nights, so do not miss out. And one day before the gig, we got to know that the sales have gone up, and on the day of the gig, both of the shows got sold out. So we were like, thank God, we are at least not going back home, like, you know, burning a giant hole in our pocket. At least we are getting something. So we are happy with that.
Okay.
And of course, the cutting, corners with where you stay, how you travel, all of those things are, but we are not one of those people. So we go hard, like we stay, travel and eat very lavishly, and we see it like a paid vacation more than anything else, if there's anything. So that's the thing, because we can afford to do that, because we are privileged, and we have something else, at least something else that we can get some money from. Had this been the only thing, we would have been pretty much screwed. And that's not the reality that we can live with. We cannot have this as a full-time thing. That's the goal that we have in mind, in order to make this a full-time thing later down in our lives. But right now, we are coming close to it, of course, and we are getting better through original music. That's another condition that I'm adding. Okay, now I want to make a living through playing live music, only original music, only English, only rock. Like, that's too many conditions I'm putting onto realities. There's only so much it can take before I meet my...
So when you're... Right. So when you say sold out, so what are the kind of ticket sales that you guys generated, and what was the average amount of the tickets?
Okay, so...
There's like a phase 1, phase 2 thing.
Yeah, so we put out different phases, but some phase are like 400 bucks, some are 600, so it all comes down, to, as an average, it comes down to 500 only, because some are 299, early bird, 499. If a lot of people have now bought 400 rupee tickets, and a few people have bought the 600 rupee on gate tickets, then it doesn't matter, it becomes 500 bucks. So if you sell 500 rupees, 100 people, 200 people, like 500 rupees ticket to 100 people, that would be what, 50,000 rupees, right? 50,000 is not really that big of an amount. Now we got not sold out. The second show got sold out. First almost was at the cap. The first was, I believe, 120 people, and the second one was 200 something people, and we maxed out in the second venue because it was a smaller one. So in that amount, at least we were able to pay for the tickets for getting the sessions, because they were coming to Delhi via flight. We can't ask them to travel one extra day on the train, because they've got other things, other bands, other commitments, whatever. So to pay for the flight and to pay them for their thing, it'll already cost you 30-40k. Again, sound engineer, having a separate sound engineer is a luxury. We, up until a few years ago, me and Saurabh were the only people who were doing sound. So the last time, funny incident, the last time we played the same venue, I can't name the place, but when we reached that place, we just entered Delhi, because we were coming from Chandigarh. Last year we did that, and the sound wasn't there. It was just cables and speakers right there. We had to patch all the speakers manually, all the auxes, all the monitors, and then connect it all to the soundboard. Then I got on the soundboard and I gave Lodha the thing. Okay, I want you to check every single input that is coming from drums. If the mics are connected, we did that. Then I made the drum sound, then I mixed the sound, then I picked up the mic and I made my own vocal sound right then and there, and then we started the set. So we have gone through that. We can still do that, because we are sound engineers and we are live sound engineers for other people as well. But the focus shifts, and the roles that we are playing, you can't juggle too many of them. If you spent, like, I don't know, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. you have been doing the sound engineering jobs as a spot boy, as a sound engineer, as a mixing engineer and whatnot, then to suddenly flip that switch and be like, now I'm going to become a performer. Yeah, you can do that. I have done that, but it takes something away, whether that is 1%, 5%, 20%, 50%, that is being taken. And you are a musician, you are not a sound engineer. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, is what I've been told. So make your, like, spend your energy wisely. So for whatever amount, yes, we are carrying a sound engineer so that we can just chill and, I don't know, do drugs or whatever.
And you can deliver. You can deliver the
yes, and that's what people are there for. Like, that's what people are there for. Nobody's gonna clap for you ki, hey, you patched your own sound cables and did the sound boy job, and you made your own sound. Wow, good for you. But we don't care. We are here for your music. We're here for you playing, and that's what it is. So nobody cares. Like, I mean, you can pat yourself on the back for making your own sound, patching your own sound, but nobody cares to, at the end of the day. All they care about is your performance. And if you screw that up for any reason whatsoever, now that's your fault. Not organizers, not the sound vendor, not anybody.
This was Delhi, and what was it what was the amount that you got back? When you were back in Pune, what were you left with?
We barely, we broke even. After paying everyone, after paying for our own tickets, for that, we broke even. So talking exact numbers, I'm not sure, because Akash manages that, and at the end of every month, he sends a P&L sheet, because, I mean, we are a band, but we are a business as well. There is influx of cash coming in, there's influx of cash going out. Yeah, we don't keep it, yeah, we don't, whatever that, like, but it is cash coming in. There needs to be a track of it. So we broke even, and a little above broke even, and, like, we got some amount, decent amount for the band members. But this was an exception that happened, is what I'm saying. And had we not done the tributes for the last two shows, with the show that we would have played for the original music, we would have been in deep loss. And we have bear that loss so many times. It's very few incidents like these that give you something else. So the week before that, we were on a South India tour, and on that tour we went on a giant loss, in a big loss, because, I mean, that was all original music. There was zero covers. So even though we were touring with another band,
South India.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the tour like? As in, how many days did you play, and what was the amount that you were receiving in South India?
No, it was all ticketed. It was all ticketed. We sold good tickets and everything, but then there were 2 bands, 3 bands, and we are splitting for original music. Even though we are playing last or headlining or whatever it is, but still we can't ask for more than 60% or 70%. That would be crazy that the 2 bands split the 30 into themselves, but. We can do that, but we want like equal split. So that's what we do. It doesn't matter what stature of band we are playing with. If it's a tribute or something like that, then it's a different story. Then we are in it also for the finances, and we need to manage. We need to pay our session member, not only ourselves. And a lot more goes into that, about making the link and this and that. So yeah, that's what.
A session member is the sound engineer, right?
No. A session member is a hired gun. So basically, right now, if we play a LP tribute, we have Rishi as a session member. He plays guitars and does vocals.
Right.
Yeah, he's a hired gun. Like, so he's not a permanent member.
For the band.
Yeah, he's not a permanent member. Now that, in a way, he is, because we can't even imagine playing with someone else. But we can play with someone else. Like, I mean, that's the reality of it. Like, like that person is a session member. Like, when we play Metallica, Aditya Swaminathan from KDK, Gutslit and Demonic, he is the session member. Now we have played the Metallica set with Rohit Lalwani, who's the vocalist and guitarist of Lal and the People. He's the best blues guy in India, I believe, and he has a history of metal. So we started out with him because Aditya Swaminathan was in Turkey. So the first gig that we were supposed to play with Aditya Swaminathan, we had to play with Rohit Lalwani. And then the last gig also, suddenly he got a gig in Dubai. Aditya Swaminathan had to, his gut slit commitments. So I mean, of course, he would prefer that. So he had to cancel the gig. So 1 week before we informed Rohit Lalwani, the last time we played Metallica, and we played the Metallica show with him. So yeah, a lot of people
Stables and Haley, right?
stables, yes. So that's what the thing is, like, people would be bummed out, oh, Swami is not there, or sometimes they'd be bummed out, oh, Lalwani is not there. But once again, they all are session members because they are hired guns in a way. Like, we remain the core members, and then we have the session member, like that.
When you play in like varying venues, what is the kind of money that you're able to make tapi? So in Pune, if you play like Mahalakshmi Race Course or tribute show, or if you play in Mumbai in a big arena, maybe like Geo Gardens, or the show that's coming up in Palladium Mall, or in like thing that you did last year in Dublin Square. So the travel costs might not be as much, like as high.
It's not gonna be. Yes, of course.
But the pay is the kind of money that you make the same tickets, and is the kind of crowd that you are able to pull in the same.
It's okay. So a lot more factors go into the crowd pulling aspect, because it's about the venue, whether people trust the venue as well or not, or whether they trust the organizer, whether they trust the band. So there are a lot more goes into the crowd pulling. What I can talk about is the monetary aspect of it. You can earn anywhere between, I don't know, like 10k to 10 lakh in a show like that. How did you crack the deal? How much are you in demand? How many tickets is the organizer sure that it's gonna sell? Varies a lot. But with that said, if you're an original musician and if you have a decent following, you haven't played in a while, then expect to earn anywhere between 20 to 30k on a ticketed thing. In a landed, you can convince the guy to pay you 50 or something like that. Now, people are much getting paid much more than that. I'm telling you, we are not those people yet. There are people who have been active and they get very good landed deals, so that the onus, the burden of promotion lies on their shoulder. So in Mumbai and this Palladium, the last, I mean, I don't know how much we are getting for this. The last time we played, I know the exact numbers for Pune Phoenix. It was, I believe, something very, very less, something that people would not believe, but I think 50k something last year. Or something, and we
landed deal or a ticket?
landed
ticket.
And we spent over 55k in recording the video for it, because we got a team of whatever number of people.
Okay.
And now due to whatever reasons, our sound engineer couldn't record the multi-stem. Then I gave him like a fail-safe for that, that is to record the overheads and crowd mics via an aux into a Scarlett, into another laptop. That also somehow didn't happen because of the bit rate or sample rate or some crazy bit depth thing like that. So now we don't have any audio, and we have a 12 camera team video. We've got like a TB worth of footage. Now what do? So we didn't make any money. Instead we spent money into that show. The audio that we were supposed to get, of course, that's the easiest part. We don't have. We have the video. Now the video guys would ask us, okay, we didn't screw up, you need to pay us. Now we are screwed. We can't put that video anywhere. We can't have the audio anywhere. We can't do anything with it. So that is something that happens. But now if you consider all of that, okay, I don't want to go into video, I don't want to document myself, I don't want to invest this money into the band itself, into the promotion, because even if sometimes we get landed deal, no, every single time we get a landed deal, we still pay out of our own pockets and put 5-10,000 ka promotion, so that people show up at least, you know. So I would say, like, if you absolutely save every single penny, then you might be able to save something. Let's say if you're a band of 4 or 5, you can get a good deal of 50k and you can save 10k per member. But gigs like these will come to you 3 months once, like one time in 3 months maybe. So is this the right course for you? Are you sure that you are you gonna be okay by earning, I don't know, 10,000 in every 3 months or something like that? It's a big thing. It's a big, that's where the privilege comes in. That's where being loaded, or having a label, having a financial backing, having a job, a day job, so that you earn through that and you put it into your music. So many ways come in, and that's the thing we are trying to figure out. What we are trying to do is something that no other band, I believe, has done as of yet, which is to earn 100% through their original music. So even the biggest bands, they do something else. I can't once again name names, but I know I'm in touch with of all tier musicians, whether that is at the top tier to the bottom, whoever, people like us, there are who are starting out and barely 2-3 years have passed since we've formed the band. All of us have something else going on. So our objective as of now is to have this full time, to make make live music, or not even live music, this band a full-time thing. And that's the goal. And we want to do this through original music, and if not, then through covers also we can do. It's fine either way. We are not going that hard on ourselves anymore. So that's what it is. But yeah, that's what
are the kind of day jobs that you guys pursue? So being in a band, having the knowledge of music, day jobs, what are the day jobs? So being a sound engineer for films?
No, so now
sound engineer for ads? What
now this is another debate, that why do you want your day job to be close to, if not about music? Why do you want it? You can do an IT job and then come back home and do your music. That divide can exist. You don't need to earn only through music for you to be legit or whatever that is. Yeah, that will be an ideal case scenario, that you earn through music itself, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So I'd say you can have sound engineering jobs or whatever. For our band, Akash is still teaching. I stopped teaching almost 2 years ago now. That's the last class that I took, I believe. I still help people out if they reach out to me on Instagram, but I don't teach. I don't do weekly classes. I don't charge for them or anything. Saurabh has a job at Ubisoft, and he still does a little bit of recording work. I am earning whatever I'm earning through the band, and I am picking up some favorite clients that I had of that the music that I like, they make that kind of music, so I mix their music and I master them, and that's about it. So it's all about right now it's all about keeping yourself afloat, but there's a huge distinction between keeping yourself afloat versus now you are afloat with that amount, and now you're doing well with that amount, and now you're prospering with that amount. That is a huge lines that we gotta cross, and that's the trick of life that keeps happening over your brain. Is people our age are getting very settled, and we are still here oh my god, will we even be able to get our normal earnings through it. Right now, after 5 years of we formed the band in 2019, after 5 years we are in a position that we can see that happening through original, through tribute, through whatever it is. We can see that happening, but it's unsure. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna trying to deter. I'm not deterring anybody to come over to the set, but be sure about what you want is the thing. I don't want to give you it's all or bed of roses.
So for you personally, after investing time, after investing of course in equipment, after investing in every show for the last 4 to 5 years, you're saying that now is maybe the time that you can sustain yourself off of the revenue that
almost barely and almost barely and almost, I would say. And that is because we are investing the money back into it. If we start saving it up for ourselves, then we would be stuck in the bracket that we are, is how I see. So If there's a business they want to scale up, they put it. So we keep scaling up, whether that's in technology, getting better in-ears, better interface, better laptops, better anything. Like we keep scaling up, we don't stop. And even though if we stop that, like we don't want to remain in the same bracket. We'll keep making more music videos, we'll keep making more music and live videos or whatever. We'll keep investing that amount because that's what it is about. You have to have fun along the way, and you have to know all of these things, and then have a very realistic expectation of this. So after 5 years of having the band, apart from being 20 years 15 years of being musicians, apart from the band itself, right now we are coming to a point where we can say we might be able to sustain ourselves. That is because we are a trio as well. That's another huge factor. We are not a 8-piece band or whatever. So we can do that.
That's true.
I'd say we are in a place like that. Touch wood, and hopefully it keeps going better.
Really.
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear. At least we're left with a hopeful message now.
I mean, we that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do.
What are the kind of platforms you wish existed for you guys? As in, you mentioned at the start of our interview that you wish you were a band in the 80s, just doing drugs and playing music. So, what do you think was different back then? How were bands able to, have that kind of a lifestyle? And what were the platforms that were available to them? What was the kind of support system available to them that we don't have? What is the kind of support system that people have abroad? Like you mentioned, bands in Germany, Swedish people who make music have a certain kind of support system that they get, or even let's say independent artists in Bollywood or people who make regional music sort of have a support system. But rock bands or people who are making rock music, performing rock music, don't have. What are they lacking?
Okay, so talking specifically just about the time of that era, let's say 60s, 70s, 80s, rock was the pop. Like pop music is basically popular music, right? So there was no pop music. The extents of pop that you'd hear would be still very harmonically complex funk, whether that is Earth, Wind and Fire or ABBA from Sweden that we mentioned earlier. In fact, 99% of the chart toppers that you'd see would be rock. So rock was the norm, rock was the pop. So if you ask a random person on the street in that time, okay, what are you listening to? They'd be like Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or whatever, XYZ. That's why they were able to sell 100 million copies. That's how they were able to do all of that. So for those people, they were the Dua Lipas of today's. They were that big. We can't fathom how big they are. Right now, people are not that crazy about musicians. They don't see them as gods as they used to, and I'm glad that they don't. But they were very big then. Second thing is the medium of communication and medium of pushing out that music. So we only had radio, we had TV, we had CDs and cassettes. Alright, all of these mediums that can be very tightly controlled. So back then the sifting would be done through labels or some sifting engineers or whatever sifters that they would send out to go hunt for a good band for us, something like that. They would look for that. They would one day sit down to go through hundreds of demos and then be like, hey, this band sounds really cool. Are they playing anytime soon? Let's get them a gig. We'll see them. And then you would be accepted into that thing, accepted into their label, and then they would pump money. They would want to compete with other labels, so they would pump more money into you, align more shows, ask you to pump out more music and get you gigs and get you cassettes and whatever. Another thing is the music videos. There were no OTTs back then, there was no internet back then, so if you want any screen entertainment, TV is all you had. And in TV, this is how the music videos, by the way, came to life, as I remember, if I remember correctly, because radio was a good way, but if you want to break out in the mainstream, you need to have a music video, and MTV or whatever platform channel, they need to pick that music and air it. And then you get a caller system, so they would call MTV and be like, hey, can you play the thing like that? And if you get more calls, and then they would air it again and again, then you get famous, and then you get more dates and blah blah blah. Right now that thing is completely gone. Nobody watches TV. Nobody.
So tours back then were only to, you know, like gain
Support.
popularity, interact with fans,
Yes, just
and
support
it was
the music.
not a primary source of
Nope, not at all. It was a fraction. The CDs, the sales, the all of this thing.
Audiences.
Yes. It was not even a fraction of what they used to earn. So that's the thing. After the Napster revolution, I believe, the royalties or whatever, the CD cassette, that thing kind of died out. You could just download music. If you try to pull down one website, there would be 5 more that came in. And we are from that era. We would remember songs.pk or bmp3.com or whatever from the back in those,
being a YouTube
link all of those things. Yes, so we are that. So now there is no point in monetizing music. There are bands who do that, very puritanical kind of bands that do that, but what happens is it becomes more about charity, like, hey, please buy my CD. I don't have a CD player, where do I put in CD? But okay, I'm gonna buy your CD, kind of like that. And it's kind of like that. It's not an actual medium of communication anymore, is what I think. Like, you can sell your songs in a floppy, but would you, like that's the kind of thing. You wouldn't want to do that.
Frame that floppy, but I would never listen to music on it. So yeah. What about merchandising?
Yeah, that's a huge. So that is a huge thing that we are trying to discover, and we've spoken to bands of really big stature, and they swear by earning through merchandise. I wish that was the case and we could do that as well, but I'm not sure yet. It is a way you can charge a good amount and provide good quality, good prints to them, to like your audience, and you might be able to earn. But once again, if you're a member of let's say, doing basic math, like you're a 5-piece band, let's say you need at least 20,000 per member per month to sustain or to keep it going. That is 1 lakh rupees, right? So even if you get the shirt printed at $500 and you sell it for 1,000, which is okay, it's a good amount, but it's a huge margin that you're earning. How many t-shirts do you have to sell? You have to sell my math sucks, but $500, 100 t-shirts is 50, 200.
That means
200 t-shirts every month. Like, how are you gonna get 200 fans every month? That is insane. That comes out to be 30 divided by this, like 6.
200 new fans.
Yeah, that comes out to be 7 new t-shirts.
Wearing out the...
Exactly, 7 t-shirts every day you have to sell. It's almost impossible. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It's very hard. And to answer the question completely, the infrastructure is what lacks in India. If we had more labels, more venues, more organizers pushing for more original content, people trying to consume more original music and different genre music, different lingual, let's say English music, then yeah, we would have all of that. Like in Sweden, Germany, they don't have anything else going on. They don't have a Bollywood. So if you want to listen to music, you have to listen to Ghost, you have to listen to Opeth, you have to listen to, I don't know, David Guetta or Avicii or whatever your genre is. Every genre will have their own artist, but yeah, that's the thing. Here we already are getting catered, and it's a huge industry, and it's very well functioning, and it has a lot of financial backing and everything, and people know it. And yeah, like it's a David versus Goliath situation basically, but you know who wins at the end, so
yeah. And then would you say so then it's limited to the metro cities, that's it? So the scope that you have right now, the place
no.
to is...
You'd be surprised how much more we are selling in tier 2 cities than tier 1, because tier 2 cities are very, very I don't know, they feel neglected. So whenever a band like us,
are rich, by the way,
they are very rich. They are very rich. That's number 1, and number 2 is they feel neglected for some reason, and rightfully so, of course. And when we show up, they are like, wow, like they kind of feel like a certain level of pressure or like like a obligation to us to show up. So they show up in numbers, they have a very good time. So it's a very weird thing to say, but like up until now we've enjoyed much more playing in the tier 2 city than metro cities, because in metro city this is nothing special, so every place has its own thing. But yeah, that's what I think. The amount that they can provide you with will get stuck. So like you can't charge 1,000 rupee tickets in a tier 2 or tier 3 city. That's gonna be too much for them. But yeah, they would wanna come. There are fans, and the thing is, our population, dude, like it is 140 crores. Like you put EU and like half the Russia together, everything together, they'd still not be 10% our population. So if we can break into just 1% of population, that is more population than the entire population of Germany or Sweden or England combined. Our PCMC has more population than Finland. So like you get the point, that's our strength.
So then are you guys actively looking forward to touring in tier 2 cities? So what's the recent tour that you've done in like tier 2 cities? Indore was maybe one?
Indore was there. I would say
as well?
In the South India, I don't know if I should call Trivandrum a tier 2 city. Would it be a tier 2 city? Even though it's
I think Trivandrum would be a tier 2.
Kochi is a tier 1 city, I'm sure.
There's like
Pondicherry was a tier 2 city.
Okay.
Tier 2, tier 3, I don't know, that's debatable, but yeah, that's what it is. It's
Are the amount of audiences that you gain, are the numbers the same? Do you get like 120, 120, 200 people filling in your venues?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like people still show up in numbers. They are very well informed, and they are very well aware of what's going on outside. In fact, more than people who are in the metro city, because I don't know, of whatever reason, I've known like people are hardcore fans that we have are from tier 2 cities. It's crazy to say, but that's the truth. Yeah.
And then of course you can charge them like 1,000 rupees a ticket, but then can you still charge them 500 rupees a ticket?
Yeah, you can.
They would definitely be able to afford, yeah.
Yes, of course.
And so that's like an average thing that you're playing at a cafe in maybe your city. So you do charge, you would be charging, so I know different cafes and different venues will have different capacities, but let's say like 50-70 people might show up for on a weekday. So you would still charge them like $500 in any metro city, and then in these tier 2 cities, would you like? Is it? I don't know the data. I'm just trying to.
No. So I'll tell you what. Like the thing is what tier 2 city makes up in quantity, like the quality of like let's say 1,000 rupees or 800. They would make up in quantity, like they would be showing up in much more numbers, and there are much more tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities that we can target. So like in America, like if they have a tour going on, they log the two months, and they play very adjacent cities every day, and there are so many venues in tier 2, tier 3 cities there that venues are trying to compete for band to come to play at their venue. So they are gonna give you better deals. In turn, it's much easier to line up a tour in that way. It's much easier to earn a profit, and biggest thing, no Bollywood. So if somebody wants to go check out live music, they have to do your thing. Yeah, of course, Weekend and Dua Lipa and Bruno Mars, the big players, are gonna be there just as there are here. But there is plenty to go around. It's not a zero-sum game. There's plenty to go around, and there is a way there. Here we have a way, but that way is a little different. That's all I can say.
So then tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities don't have the kind of venues and don't have the number of venues that
as of now they don't.
So
as of now they don't.
Problem. So that's like one of the issues. One of the issues, like allied industry is not developed.
Yeah, they look like
don't have.
It's a circle. They need to be assured, like if you're a guy from a tier 2 city, why would you invest whatever number of lakh rupees into a venue,
in
and
another.
yeah, when there are no bands in your city that play, and getting the bands is not financially viable, people are not gonna show up. So many things. There's so much uncertainty. So why would you do that? So despite all of this adversity, there are people opening up their venues to us, and they're opening up venues for music, because there are different venues. There are some venues that only do music. They are shut 6 days of the week. They open up one day and they only do music. They have a different sanctity, different level of sound. But yeah, that's what it is. So it is happening.
What are the names
but
of those kinds of venues? Is it?
I would give a huge shout out to Seed Centraal in Indore, and Sanket is the guy. Shout out. And they have such good sound, such a good vibe, and such a good network. It's a place that I would want to be as an audience, and people are showing up in numbers. Every time we play there, we are more than happy and very pleased. And yeah, so if he can do that there,
Showing up in numbers as in like 300-400 लोग आ रहे हैं.
फर्स्ट गिग में तो हाँ 300 लोग आ गए थे. Yes, 300 is a big number for an indoor show. Yes, so it's a crazy thing. It's how it is, but yeah.
Okay, nice. And so you mentioned you were on a tour with other bands. So how does it usually work? Even if it's an original show that you're doing or a tribute show that you're doing,
Yeah.
how do you split the costs? What's that scene? Of course, the stay and travel of each
Depends.
band is something
Yeah.
that's
Up to them,
people.
their own. But like, let's say we are the band that everybody is gonna come to see. Then we're gonna go for a 60-40 split, which is decent enough. So 60 we keep, 40 you keep. But right now, as of now, we don't do that. We only do equal splits, and so that they also have an equal incentive to do that. And we don't promote it like a headliner or openers or this that's not how it is. Like, sometimes we would want to play the opening slot time, because it's all about time. Like, yeah, people are there for you or whatever thing, but sometimes, like, if you're past 10:30, 11, they're not going to stay for you. So what they got out of that gig was just this. It has happened to us. Sometimes we've been the headliners, and there was nobody to see us, because by the time our slot came after 3 bands, everybody had to head back home, because it was a Sunday and next day they have work. So it's about the time slot. It's about that. So yeah, we do an equal split for our original. For our tributes, we are trying to do something else, depending upon what are they offering and how much crowd. Like, a realistic expectation. Let's say if you're doing a tribute, I'm also doing a tribute, and both the bands have equal demand and everything. Now we come about, okay, how much content do you have, how much footing do you have, and how many people do you think you can pull, and what are your past numbers. So with that, we are gonna go for like that. So that's it's very varying. Like, it's not.
variable.
Yeah, it's not a fixed amount that we have.
Depends on the band. So
Of course.
So let's say if it's like a band like Vyom, you would do sort of an even split, but
Yes.
with like White Vinyl, Vyom's
Yeah.
band is White Vinyl.
Yeah.
And, with the band in Stables Andheri, it would be a different kind of
Yeah, so I mean, like, not just to name names, but like, if the band is just as established as us, they're in demand as much as we are, and all those things are just right there. Of course, equal split makes sense. But if there is a college band with just basically who piece together a few musicians, this is going to be their first gig, this is something they're trying out, they're trying to find their footing or whatever, and now you give them equal split, then it's not, like, it's not fair to yourself is the thing. And they are not in it for the money, because they just got in. They don't know what happens, how they happen. So yeah, they it's okay. Like, you can ask them to do whatever split you want. So it works.
And what they're losing out maybe in monetary terms is something that they're gaining
In experience. Yeah,
You guys.
it's all about the mindset.
What they're gaining in like numbers.
Absolutely. It's all about the mindset in that way, that you have to have like a good thing going on, like with your expectations, because people come in once again for the wrong reasons, and then find that this is not what they thought it would be, and then they quit. So you come in with less expectations and be very honest with your expectations financially. If you can afford to do that, like let's say if you're an orphan child from something and you have to support your mama, mami or whatever, and you have to send them money, and your grandparents are dying, you have to, whatever the situation you are in, then don't come to music, because this is not a good place for you. I mean, yeah, you would love to be here and you would do wonders, but it's not how it works. Like it's not. Yeah.
For a band such as yourself, how much would you say do you still keep on investing per month? Like, how much money do you have to keep on investing? Even if it's like making a music video once in 3-4 months, making other promotions for your tours.
Right. So currently, even if we don't do anything, keeping all of that aside, even if we don't do anything right now, we are spending 20,000 at least a month on promotions. So we have decided at least like 3 things should be on a boost on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, at all times. So Instagram is offering 200 rupees per day boost as of now. So 600 per day, 600 per day, 10, 600, yes, 18,000 rupees per month minimum we're going to be spending. Then repair cost of the instrument and this, that, and maintenance, whatever that is aside, that's trivial. But that also costs a lot, and then music videos costs a bomb. So that's another debate that we are having for the past 6 months within ourselves, that is there any point into doing a macro content when we can do micro content for almost no money, and that will gain so much more traction compared to that thing. So why is there a reason for me to invest that? So that's another thing. But yeah, music videos costs a bomb, and then recording, like we are very huge, again the thing I said about luck, we are very lucky that we are all sound engineers. So if another band wants to record a demo, even they need to pay for it. If they want to record it nicely, they want to get it mixed mastered, that it would cost a bomb. So everything costs so much that you have to see this as a business. If you don't see this as a business, you're probably deceiving yourself. So I would say the better you hop onto that mindset and see it for what it is, the better it is for you and everybody around you, so that you can manage your expectations and do better with your whatever it is that you're trying to do.
So as shareholders or whatever in this business, 5 years, 5.5 years is the time that you have taken to actually start earning a profit. Is that, like, would that be right to say? Or is
5 years if you go hard and you do everything right.
And would it be right to say that you would start earning a profit after 5 years, or would it be right to say that you stop making losses after 5 years?
That's a very good way to put it. I think stop making losses.
You do keep on investing.
Stop making the losses. Stop investing. So up until now, we were kind of spending in order to play. Right now, we are getting something to play. Yeah, we are investing that money, but still, it is getting better. Now, at the rate that you want it to get better is a different thing. Like, what is the rate that you want? Like, everybody in your office, you get 10%, 5% growth every year. Like, are you expecting that? Because they start with their baseline is very high compared to yours. So yeah, 5%, 10% growth for you might be good on paper, but you started out with 5,000 rupees. So 10% of that is what, like 500 rupees. You want that much growth per year. You can't sustain like that. So it's a much deeper conversation, but once again, managing expectations and being a realist and being honest with yourself as to what you want, what is possible as of now. Like, of course, I would want to sell out arenas and do whatever, but it's not possible. So what is possible and what all can you do is a huge thing. So 5 years is a good time if you do everything right, which is release at least 5 music videos in this time, release at least 20 to 30 songs, and play at least 50 shows. That is 10 shows every year, which is very less, very, very less. We have crossed, I think, our 100 mark recently. I don't know for sure, but anyway, like you have, yeah, and this is after 2021, 2022. We have been playing a lot of shows. So you have to do all of that while keeping the ads boosted, while engaging with the crowd, while having good music, because all of this comes back to the core of having that and having a message to stand behind, because not everybody is there for your musical expertise, being a certain way, looking a certain way, and so many things go on to this. If you do all of those right, then yes,
yeah, definitely.
Then yes, without a label even, you will
like
be able to do
lifestyle
something.
Or appearances are also something that you have to invest in.
Yes.
So the clothes that you wear,
Yeah,
the
of
way
course.
that you appear on
Of
social
course.
media.
It's
because it's ultimately it's retaining your audience and gaining new audience. So
Yeah.
even if it's social media, you have to appear a certain kind of way.
absolutely.
The
See,
way like a rock band is supposed
Exactly.
to appear. So you sort of have to maintain expectations.
exactly. See, like you, at the core of what you think you are, I'd say you are a form of entertainment. Like shout out to Muneem from Alif. He said this when I met him the first, and that kind of changed my perspective over music. And they're like, hey, we have to compete with cat and dog videos. I was like, what the hell does that mean? It's like, okay, we are just a content now. We are getting scrolled upon, and why would somebody wanna stop and look at you? That's the thing. So you are a content. You realize, the sooner you realize that, the better it is for you. So you're a content, and you have to keep making that content. Like, don't become a mindless content creator and start or doing whatever. You're a music content creator, so put out music, have a good quality control of that, and be consistent, just like a content creator would be with whatever. Because I've seen bands, they go like, they do a sprint and then they disappear for 5 years. Like, that's not how it does. It's a marathon. You keep running and keep doing the hard miles. The terrain might change or whatever the hell, but you keep running slowly, but keep running is the point. Not like run a sprint and then just lie down like a rabbit. Otherwise, I don't know, like turtles like us will win the race. Because we that's what our focus is all about. We just keep going. Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah
That's so much, like so many things that I learned today. That I've followed you guys for maybe like 3-4 years now, 3 years
Yeah.
at least now. But there's so much more that I got to learn about the functionings of a band, and the headaches that you guys have to go through.
Yeah, I haven't
Not
even
even about.
I haven't
dealing
even
with people.
scratched the
Dealing with
surface.
people is just another. Yeah. It's not even scratching the surface, but there's still I'm able to see it. At least able to see the depths of what all you guys have to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's really insightful. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm sure this is really going to be helpful for my research and my project. I'm really glad. I know I asked you for an hour. And we started at like 8:30, and it's
No, I'm glad that we did it.
Stop quite there.
No. I'm glad that we did it the time that we have done it, because after this I'm gonna get super busy. After 5th, I'm gonna get very busy, and then I would not have been able to do it. So the timing could not have been better, is all I'm saying. And the quality that we are getting and everything, I'm glad that it all worked out. And we live in a time like this, so yeah.
Yeah. We live in a time like this that we're able to do it at the drop of a hat. So
Drop of a head, exactly. Shout out Riverside.
this interview with you has given me a lot of insight over what are the actual numbers and whatnot. That's why I was pushing for you to tell me कि क्या रहता है, कितना पैसा
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to withhold that information. It's just that it varies बहुत widely. So if I give you 1 lakh, that's not gonna be the case 99% time. So any number that I give you is gonna be a misrepresentation. So that's what I don't know what to say. And for people starting out, it's gonna be much lesser. In fact, it's gonna be nothing sometimes, and it's gonna be on exposure currency, experience currency. But yeah. Another thing this happens with is कि these job holder people come into music, and the thing is कि they are not in need of money, because उनको जो 2,000 रुपए 5,000 रुपए मिलने वाला था वो they don't really care about, because उन लोग लाख से ज़्यादा कमा रहे हैं per month with their whatever job. So they're just in search of a stage. So what these people also do in a way is कि play for free. Even when money is offered, they are like हाँ नहीं चाहिए, जितना है उतना काफ़ी है, नहीं दो या जो भी है, they don't go after it. So उससे क्या होता है कि the people who are trying to do this full time, उनका लॉस होने लग जाता है. सो उनका बेस प्राइस भी कम होने लग जाता है. एंड देयर आर पीपल की he's gonna do it for free, why are you charging this, that happens. So that's another thing that you can tap into. But anyway, like yeah, there are people like that as you mentioned. So that's gonna be a huge database of whatever. But it's about the people that it reaches, the kind of people that it reaches. So that's what I'd say.